Hey folks, today we're well, real quick. I'm the skeptic,
And I am Ken, the believer.
and I always go that I should be going this way. We're doing this anyways. So today we're going to be talking about seances. Now, seances have been around for uh, since the beginning of time, pretty much. People have tried to communicate with the dead or relatives or anybody that has passed on. People have tried to contact them. Uh, Myself, uh, I don't believe, of course, I don't believe in them. Um, I don't think, um, I don't think you could contact the dead, uh, or if you could do that, you could just hold hands and with a group of people, light a candle, and talk to people. Why can't you just talk to the dead right now? Why do you need a group of people or hold hands? Why can't you just do it yourself, or you and another person, uh, or when you're driving around your car? Why can't the ghost? And this is the thing that always threw me off, Kenny. Like,
Yeah.
when they're doing seances and they say the person was like a total, this guy was really bad, or this person was really a horrible person.
Horrible in his
if
life.
if they believe in heaven and hell, and the person was a bad person, wouldn't they be in hell? And why would the devil give them, hey, Louie, listen, there's a phone call here. There's a bunch of kids. I want to talk to you. Um, get out of the pit of crap that you've been sitting in it for, 6.5 years, and take this call for like 15 minutes. And then once you're done the call, you got to get back in the pit of crap. I, I just don't, I don't see that. I don't see the devil being that nice anyways. So what are your thoughts on seances? That's a French word, right? Seances.
Yeah.
It means to screw. It means I'm gonna swear. No. All right. So what do you believe in? Look at Kenny. He's like a stud. I should go. What do you think of seances? Do you think they work?
Um, I think they work to a degree that
Go a
they can
little
come
louder, Kenny.
through.
Go
I think
louder.
they can work to a degree to come through. And depending, I think that's why I have to have so many people because I think it's going to feed on all the energy in the room. All the different people are sitting there. And if they're holding hands, they're all getting that energy from the other person's hands. And seems to be that's how it's generated. Everybody's got, the holding of the hands and getting that other person's vibe. And they're, so it's going to be all the vibes from them. And that's going to bring forth, suppose, maybe someone, a spirit will come through, with all the energy you're trying to put forward on the thing.
Yeah, and that to me is like the big thing. Like, I always hear that. It's always like the spirit needs energy to manifest. That's why you need lots of people. And to me, I always thought, you know, if something's there, it doesn't need, to me, it always seemed like, to me, too many charlatans, too many scammers have thought, you know what, like, let's get as many people together. That way they make more money. This was done in the 1800s. And then they'd have the lights, of course, they'd always have the lights down. And what, a lot of people didn't know is that the person that was doing the seance was actually making all those noises using, their feet, ringing a bell with their toes. Um, a whole lot of trickery going on. And they would charge the people. And it was a big thing. You got to remember, there was no radio back then. There was nothing, right? Maybe, we're talking Victorian times. So there wasn't really a whole lot going on. So if you had somebody sitting there saying, you want to talk to a dead relative? You'd be like, sure, I would love to talk to Aunt Ruth. And, you know, uh, they would set up this, come to my house or whatever and be here at this time. And I don't know how much they would charge, but they would charge you money, and they would have this trickery going on. Now, when I was doing my ghost show, it was a comedy ghost show. So, but I just want to show you the video, what happened, and I'll explain what happened.
Yeah, good one. Some sort of an accident.
Is that the boy that you felt in here that was guiding you to the usher?
That's pretty much
So,
yeah.
so is he here right now? Earlier, me and Oriana were down here. She said she felt a young lad.
Okay, but are we still having a seance right now?
Yes. What did you think was going on? Did you see something?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there was something back there.
I'm sorry. Maybe it was the candle, but I definitely saw something move back there.
The consequences of these three mystifying events may not have been immediate to those involved. Oriana's emotional sense of an older gentleman's troubled spirit, the group all reacting to a strange smell that filled the air, and with Sandy's undeniable belief that he saw a shadowy figure walking across the back of the stage, may not have been immediate to those involved with the seance. Little did the spirit seekers know that these events were rapidly gathering pace. What happens next was truly frightening and very disturbing.
Christ. Okay, that's not funny. That's not funny.
Stay here. Just everybody, please sit
That's
down.
not funny. Did you hear that?
I know. Just sit down.
Yeah, right,
Okay,
right.
John.
John, over here.
Okay, so what happened there was, where the hell did you go? So what happened there, I had a bunch of actors, right? And wanted to do a seance. And that seance took place at about maybe 2 in the morning, about 2 in the morning. And the actors that I had, I told them, when the lights flicker, I want you to jump, like freak out, like yell. And they were just tired, and they've been there forever, and I was asking too much out of them, and I wasn't getting the right reaction.
Yeah.
So I told Mike, one of the actors there, who does not, he's very Christian. He doesn't believe in any sort of seance. He won't, even though it was a fake one, but he's like, I want nothing to do with that, right? So you got to respect that. So I told him, all right, I whispered to him, and I said, can you do me a favor? Here are the keys, because I rented out the palace for the night. And gave him the keys, and I said, do me a favor, go up where, because the palace, when I kept looking over here and seeing Mike, I was pretending Mike was upstairs where it used to be the movie theater, where they used to show the movie theater. So I told Mike to go up there. When I waved to him, I want him to wave so everybody sees that. And I said, Mike, turn off those lights. So he's a good 100 to, well over 100 feet away. So when he turns off the lights, the keys that I gave him, I told him to run out of the theater, lock the door, make sure nobody, gets in, but come around the back of the theater and then come through the basement. And then when we're doing the seance, have things move around. And that's the real reaction that you had from people. Like Sandy thought he saw something move, and I don't think he saw Mike, but it was that germ that you put in somebody's head, that when things start moving around back there behind me, things started moving around behind me, it started freaking them out. And you saw with that, that thing, when Mike made something fall back there, they freaked right out. And which was a bad experience. They hated me, those girls. They absolutely hated me for doing that. But I needed that reaction and I wasn't getting it. But to me, it just seemed like, see how easily you could fool somebody in a setting, in a dark place, candles. You're talking about something you normally wouldn't talk about. And all of a sudden you're talking about, you know, contacting a spirit. So,
Well, another thing with that is when you're supposed to have the seance, one person is supposed to be, it's the generation of the spirit supposed to come in the body and take over that person's conscience, and then they speak through that person to the whole room. So you got one person speaking.
like some sort of possession.
Yeah, like a possession. Like that person speaking to the rest of the people that are there in the room, and they're all, so then the person's gonna say, who they are, that they're coming through, and then start, answering the questions. The other people are gonna start, asking questions and stuff like that. That's sort of like, sort of based on, that's like a seance would do, sort of like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but I saw, like, to me, I've watched these, like you, I've studied it for a while. And when people do that whole possession thing, there used to be a woman that I believe, do you ever remember the Donahue show? Phil Donahue.
Yeah, yeah.
Phil Donahue.
Phil Donahue, yep.
That guy. So he had this woman on there that she thought she was like some 5,000-year-old. She would talk like she'd go and she'd stomp her feet and start. Do you remember that?
I don't remember though that. So was she talking in like different language, dialects, or
She was
something?
trying. No, she could only speak English, and I was thinking, like, even watching it, I'm going, okay, so you got to remember when I'm watching, I'm 9 years old, right? And I'm thinking, how can the guy from 5,000 years ago, how can he be speaking English?
Yeah, exactly.
He wouldn't know how to speak English, right? So to me, when people pull that stuff off, I don't, to me, it was just, she just seemed like a complete and utter charlatan.
But sometimes they say that they can come through and speak in different languages too. Like come through and they can take over. They can do the different language, like speaking.
There was the baptism church where I think it was baptism or Pentecostal, I can't remember, but they could speak in tongues. And then if you've videotape them, and then you listen, there's no language there. It's just babble. Just, it's just like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, it's just babble. There's no language there.
Like that's now, Latin. They're always saying that that's hooked in with evil stuff is Latin when they're talking Latin or stuff like that coming.
Yeah, but some of these people, Kenny, they haven't even studied Latin. I know some Latin, and I don't hear any Latin.
No.
All I hear is idiotic babble.
Right.
Like if you're gonna fool somebody or you're gonna make it authentic, at least study Latin or an old language. If you're really gonna fool somebody. But like what you're saying is, it can be a spirit or whatever. And here's the thing: even if you were to get a spirit, how do you not know that it's the right spirit?
Yeah.
It's like I never understood this. It's just like, if you believe in heaven and hell and you think there's good and bad, yes, of course.
Yeah, so
Then
a bad one could be using the good ones, fooling you. Could be fooling you. Like I said, one could be fooling you, saying, "Oh, I'm this person." You're like you said, but it's
yeah,
not
how would you prove that?
Yeah, you couldn't really.
You couldn't. You just have to take the spirit's word for it or whatever.
Yeah.
And to me, I just think it's just a an old parlor game, an old parlor trick, seances just to fool, years ago. It was really horrible. If a young person passed away, Houdini would always try and do this. Like Houdini tried to do a seance, and he tried to talk to a family that their child just passed away, and he saw how incredibly painful and damaging that is to lie to people, right? So then he devoted his life to go after these people, these people that say they could speak to the dead, and seances. And he even did the famous every year, remember, his wife would try, she knew his secret code, right? So every year on Halloween, they did this for like 20 or 30 years until she passed away. They tried to contact Houdini, and they never did. They could never get his spirit. So, and it was just I think it was his final nail in the coffin, to show that, this isn't real, folks. It's just a parlor trick. So to me, I don't believe them. I've looked into them. I don't believe them. So that's my thought. Out of 10, I give it a 0. I don't think anybody has the power to speak to the dead. And if they say they could speak to the dead, then they need to talk to a doctor, or they're lying. So what do you think? Do you think people can speak to the dead, like doing a seance? Do you think that they could talk to the dead?
I'm still halfway believing it. I've heard of some different things in the past, that's happened, and some people actually were in circumstance and was in a seance thing, and it seemed pretty real, I guess, to them. So, unless they were acting or not, but
Come closer to the mic.
Yep. So it seemed like it was pretty real to them. So I still give it a 5 out of 10. Just I kind of on the bubble for that one. So I'm
Okay.
kind of half point there. And so it could be, you just don't know,
Right. Okay. Well, that's it, folks. We'll do another one about this. I'm the skeptic,
And I'm the believer.
and we're gonna do another one. And have a great weekend. I'll probably see you on Sunday. I'm gonna go and test out some of his toys. I don't mean like Hot Wheels. I'm talking like ghost hunting toys. So we'll try to, and then we'll test them out and see what's going on. All right. So folks, be good, subscribe, hate, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Just be safe. All right. Be good. Thank you, Kenny.
Yep, no problem.